A quick reaction to one of the biggest scandal in La Liga history.
The video from a dramatic conclusion to the end of this game. It was 2-2 with just seconds left, and Jesus Gil Manzano, the center ref, blew his whistle shortly after Real Madrid seemed to have scored a goal, or at least during the play. Stevie?
Absolutely horrible refereeing. I mean, it makes no sense that you second guess yourself and then you see that the ball's being crossed and then you decide to blow the whistle. It's just horrible refereeing. Now, people will complain and say, when the time's up, the time's up.
Right.
But you need, it's called game management.
Okay.
And that is just a ridiculous time to blow the whistle, because if the attacking team scores,
he's got to let the attack finish. Is that
you have to make sure. You wait until it's dead. You can't let. Yeah, it's just horrible game management.
So when Stevie said it's a horrible decision, he's being professional. He's trying to be nice to the referee because that decision was horrendous. This could be one of the biggest La Liga scandal in history. The only way I can find one excuse how it's possible, maybe the referee is under someone's paycheck. That's the only way you can explain this scenario, because there's no way this could be done.
Garcia, Luis, you were watching this one live. What do you think about the final seconds there?
It's a very bad timing. You know what? I think that he got it in his head that in the first 45 minutes, in the last second of the first 45 minutes, Valencia was attacking. They were inside the box, and he whistled. And the Valencia players were complaining. So I think that when he saw the ball going out of there, and he was going to whistle in that last minute, he had that in his head, and he thought, if in the first 45 I didn't allow it, I'm not going to do it. But in that moment that he was thinking, 1-2 seconds, and the ball started flying into the box, and he started whistling the end of the game. Of course, he decided just before the Bellingham hit or headed the ball into the net. So, of course, it's not allowed the goal. But definitely, it's a very bad timing for the whistle.
I mean, what do you expect from Luis Garcia? He will always support the corrupt, bribed referee, no matter what. Otherwise, he would not bring the scenario what happened in first half, because this is like comparing apple to orange. This is not the same case at all. And it's not about this horrendous decision, right? He invented a non-existent penalty. A penalty is never a penalty.
I mean, so many places we could start. I think just generally, Real Madrid dropped points here, right? And it was a bit of a disappointing performance, especially in that first half.
Real Madrid did not drop points today. Real Madrid is stolen points by the referee.
I think they went out in the first half and they played with two wide players. They didn't play with the centre forward, and Bellingham was sitting deeper. And Valencia were the old-fashioned 4-4-2. So their two centre halves had nobody to mark. For the first 15, 20 minutes, Real Madrid could pass the ball easy round the back, and there you see the stats, they had loads of possession, but there was no penetration. There was no forward movement. They didn't have a centre forward. And eventually Valencia thought, hang on, we can go and press the ball a little bit higher up the field. We can corner Real Madrid, we can win the ball back and cause one or two problems. And Real Madrid started to make mistakes. They didn't have an answer to it. They didn't change it until they started the second half, when they got Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo to play much narrower. Sometimes Bellingham went out to the left-hand side. So they did have players playing through the middle. So that's what changed, and that's why they were more effective in the second half.
So when it comes to a match performance today, I'm not in a mood to discuss, because this decision by the referee, I'm not even normal mode today. Being said that, I have to agree with Robson here, because today our performance, especially at first half, was below subpar. In fact, our performance been like this in last couple of matches. To add with that, in last few matches, we had one main problem, one big problem, right? No one in the middle. No one in the middle to attack. And that's been causing a lot of problem. Alongside with that, a lot of players who been playing superb this season was subpar. For example, Cruz. Like how often you see Cruz miss passes, so easy passes, like a normal pass, just A to B, that's nothing for Cruz, right? He was even miss-passing, so you know that something is wrong. Being said that, in second half, our performance improved much better. Being said that, despite we did not play our best, we still deserved to win this game, because we scored a legal goal.
Luis, why did Real Madrid struggle so much?
Well, I think that Robo mentioned a few of the good things why Real Madrid once again did just enough, and today they just got short. We've seen Real Madrid 1-0 against Valencia, 1-1 against Rayo Vallecano, 1-0 against Leipzig. And in the past 2-3 months, it's been like this every single weekend. Because the amount of the rotation, players injury, and of course the talent that this team is got, they play, and in the end, they manage to get the result. But today, against a team that is very well organized, once again.
Okay, I had to pause here. I generally don't pause in this situation, but I had to pause here because he said a ridiculous comment. He said, first few months, Real Madrid's been playing like this. Didn't you blow up Girona a few weeks ago? What's wrong with him?
And Rubén Baraja has done an amazing job with this Valencia. It just got short in the second half. Again, more intensity, bringing fresh legs, bringing more players into the center, trying to create a little bit more danger. But it wasn't enough because Valencia is. I think they conceded only 6 goals in the season. So that showed that this team, he was ready to fight against Real Madrid. It's true that Valencia knew that making quick transition, they will have their option, they will have opportunities, and they cover the area of Toni Kroos that today was disappear because there was always a player on him because he's the player who can manage, who can keep the tempo, who can really make the rest of the players play. I think they got just too short, and that's what they're going to feel in the next games because against Leipzig, it's going to be very similar.
Again, I'm going to repeat. Today, Real Madrid is robbed. Being said that another reason why Madrid struggled in terms of gameplay is because of Valencia's playstyle. Valencia honestly were really good in terms of attacking and aggression and high pressing. In fact, Valencia has won at their home against Athletic Club, against Atletico Madrid, and they also drew against Barca. So those suggest that going here and winning and taking points is not easy. But we should have won, if not for the daylight robbery by referee.
This is one of those strange results that even though you're sitting top of the league and you drop points, normally the question is, oh, you're dropping points and we can't afford. This won't feel like that.
Why?
Because of the way the game ended. They will feel as though they've had 2 points ripped from the grasp. And so they'll be galvanised by the fact.
Really?
Aye. Mm-hmm. Nobody at Real Madrid is going to be looking at the table going, we've dropped points, oh my goodness, we can't afford to drop any more, which of course they can't, but the whole psychology of certainly going into the Leipzig game, they will go into this next game on a high.
It won't affect the Leipzig game, but remember, Bellingham will be suspended.
Today, I feel only panelist today who is talking sense with some sense is Stevie. He's on point because no Real Madrid player, even Real Madrid fans, were thinking, okay, today we lost. No, everyone is thinking, today we got robbed.
What did you make of Bellingham today?
He looked slightly off the pace today. He made one good run in the first half when Vinicius Junior, I think, played it with the outside of his boot. He got in behind. He didn't look quite so sharp in possession. He didn't make so many forward runs. He looked a little bit off the pace, I would say.
Yeah.
So regarding Bellingham's performance, he was far from his best. Again, that's not totally unexpected. When a player comes back from injury, you always don't see him performing at 10 out of 10, right? That's pretty rare. And today he made a couple of good runs, couple of good link-up, but it was not his best. That we have to agree. However, he will get better eventually.
Vinicius Junior, the subject of conversation before the game, and he gets the 2 goals. He's the difference there for Real Madrid. He bails them out.
In the right place at the right time. I think he was better in the second half because he played narrower. In the first half, he was up 1v1 against Foucault, who did well against him. But he also didn't have anybody to play off of. So when you're playing as a wide player, you want to go past people, but you also want to be able to play 1-2s off the front player. There was no one for him to play 1-2s off or link up with. So that was the problem in the first half.
But today, Vinny got man of the match, and he deserved because he scored 2 goals, right? In 2 important goals against a team in a stadium full of racists. Now, at first half, he was subdued, and there is a reason for that. Whenever Vinny was playing in the left side, there were 3 players were marking him. And why is that? Because we had no player in the middle. So all the defenders from Valencia had the freedom because no one making pressure on them, right? If someone would be like, say, Joselo or any other player would be moving the forward, or Rodrigo or Bellingham, then Vinny would have more space. And today, I have to say that Vinny was much calm. Like, he wasn't like that Vinicius, like, who easily gets agitated. he was much calm today, much composed. And despite his struggle in first half, as I said numerous times, Vinny is a player I appreciate and commend a lot. Because he's a player, despite he has like off the moment in the game, he never gives up. He always shows up when it matters. Also, today I don't have the right mentality to discuss about players' performance, individual performance, but I did not like a lot of players' performance today. For example, Rodrigo. I don't know what he did today. I just did not appreciate his performance. In my opinion, when Brahim came in, we played much better. I have to agree with that. And then Cruz, as I said already, this could be one of the worst performances this season, Cruz. Because when I think about Cruz's performance this season, I can think of really bad game or off game. Today's one off game by Cruz. When Modric came in, I thought Modric was better than Cruz. Also, other midfielders, even though they committed a few mistakes, like Fede Valverde and Camavinga, their performance is acceptable. Fede, despite he wasn't as good as in terms of attacking, but because of his pass, we scored the goal, right? Although he could contribute a little more offensive-wise, but he was solid defensive-wise. Like how many times we saw him blocking their chance. Being said that defensively, I did not appreciate two players' performance. Carvajal, again, one of the worst performances by Carvajal this season. If you think of a second goal for Valencia, literally assisted for Valencia, that's horrible by a player of his experience. That's not acceptable. And then Mendy, as much as I like him defensively, although he was also poor at defending today, but when going forward, his contribution is minimum to none. Like he can make a single pass. Like a pass a kindergarten boy can do, Mendy cannot do. For God's sake, whenever he has the opportunity to cross or make a good pass, what he does, make it a back pass. Never gives a good cross or pass to in the middle. I haven't seen any Madrid player that is so shy for passing. Anyway, as you can see, I'm still angry, super angry for the robbery. But however, let me know what did you think about our performance today in the comment section below. And let me know what do you think about this robbery.